Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I'm your host, Tamara. Today, we are back with a book-to-movie adaptation. If you would like to see this in video format, head on over to Patreon and you can see our pretty faces without commercials. We also have a fun after show following this episode. We're going to break down not safe for work topics from the book and the movie. So if you're into that, also available on Patreon, along with other after shows and exclusive content. Woo! I'm excited for that.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I think
we
so.
don't hold back.
No,
when it's exclusive, we do not hold back on anything.
No, we really don't, because I mean, it's our safe space. We can say what we want, and y'all are people, so it's gonna be fun.
Yes.
Also, don't forget you can also join me and my two co-hosts over on the Book Club's app for even more bookish chats. So please subscribe and like the podcast wherever you are listening. And if you'd like to reach out to me, you can find me virtually everywhere at Shelf Addiction. Joining me today is feature co-host Casey from Heartful of Ink. Welcome back, Casey.
I'm so excited to be here. I know I say that every single time, but I love it so much.
Yay! Don't forget, tell everyone where they can find you.
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at Casey_Heartful of Ink, or Facebook at just Heartful of Ink. Or you could go to my website, heartfulofink.com.
Okay, you guys, before we begin, as always, with book chats, we talk full spoilers. So spoiler alert, you've been warned. We're talking spoilers in the book and the movie. So we advise you watch it first. Unless you don't care about spoilers, then don't watch it first or read it first. So today we are talking about Red, White, and Royal Blue, written by Casey McQuiston. The Amazon movie adaptation was released on Amazon Prime Video Friday, August 11th, and it was rated R, y'all. Rated R. Okay, the book was published May 14th, 2019 by St. Martin's Griffin and Macmillan Audio. The paperback is 423 pages. The audiobook is 12 hours and 15 minutes, and it was narrated by Ramon DeCampo. Casey, would you please read the synopsis?
What happens when America's first son falls in love with the Prince of Wales? When his mother became president, Alex Claremont Diaz was promptly cast as the American equivalent of a young royal. Handsome, charismatic genius, his image is pure millennial marketing gold for the White House. There's only one problem. Alex has a beef with the actual Prince Henry across the pond, and when the tabloids get hold of a photo involving an Alex-Henry altercation, U.S.-British relations take a turn for the worse. Heads of family, state, and other handlers devise a plan for damage control, staging a truce between the two rivals. What at first begins as a fake, Instagrammable friendship grows deeper and more dangerous than either Alex or Henry could have imagined. Soon, Alex finds himself hurtling into a secret romance with a surprisingly unstuffy Henry that could derail the campaign and upend two nations, and begs the question, can love save the world after all? Where do we find the courage and the power to be the people we are meant to be? And how can we learn to let our true colors shine through? Casey McQuiston's Red, White, and Royal Blue proves true love isn't always diplomatic.
All right.
There we go.
So, first thing, when you finish the book, what'd you think? I
adored the book.
Really?
I did.
That's a strong word.
I adored it.
Okay.
So there are a lot of parallels that they cut out of the movie that I'm just, going to spoil right away. But in the book, Alex doesn't realize he's bisexual and has this whole mental crisis. And you could almost pull that word for word out of my own brain when I realized I was bisexual. And reading that on paper, I went, oh my God, other people do this too.
Oh,
And it was just such a beautiful moment of like, this character is literally me. This I went through, not exactly this, like I'm not in love with the Prince of Wales or whatever, but I was like, I went through this crisis of like, no, if I was gay, I would have known this whole time. But wait, straight people don't have to convince themselves that they're straight.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm bi. And so it was just such a beautiful moment to read in a book and feel seen. And know that other people are like that. So yes, I absolutely adore this book.
Okay, so maybe because I'm just a plain old straight person, maybe that. I thought it was cute. I did. I thought it was super cute. I was satisfied at the end. I thought some of the parts dragged a little.
I mean, yeah, there were a few places where it dragged, and then there'd be these random time jumps, and like I have nitpicky things that annoyed me, but overall, no, it was cute.
Okay, so diving in, so which was better, the book or the movie?
The book.
The book. I agree.
The book, always the book.
But was the movie good? Did you like the movie?
I did. It's very cute, and I would recommend it to people. And I have been texting other gay friends and family all day, and they've watched it. They love it. They adore it. They like being seen. They like having a rom-com that shows them, you know. And so I think there are problems with it. There are problems with the plot, and I will nitpick it to death. But I think for what it is, it was a good movie.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I like the two guys they picked for Henry and Alex. Although I have to admit, I am not a fan of blonde hair. I'm not a blonde and blue eye type of guy like her. So I was like, okay, I guess. And okay, so there is one thing I'm gonna say about Henry's appearance in the after show. I'm gonna save it.
Okay.
It's on the tip of my tongue, but I will not say it. Y'all gonna have to go to the after show if you find out what my nitpick is. I think you might know it, Casey. You may not.
So.
I don't know.
I think so.
Okay.
My lips are sealed. I'm not gonna even guess.
But yeah, I like the book. I think though it was a hard start for me because I actually had started the book right before a book club meeting for Shelf Addiction. And at the end of that meeting, the fantasy series we talked about, whatever book, I'm not going to bring it up here, but at the end they were asking, what are you reading right now? And I mentioned I started this, and I was like, I hate that I kind of gave it kind of a bad report at the time that I had started it, but something about the beginning was just so bland to me. I was
slow. It was very slow. And I had the paperback, and I started counting the pages. Chapter 1 was over 20 pages. Chapter 2 was like 35 pages. And I'm like, okay, so we're 50 pages into the book. We've only read 2 chapters. Almost nothing has happened. Like, we had the cake incident, and then it was slow, but
it was slow all the way until New Year's Eve. After New Year's Eve, that's when things was okay.
Yes.
Let's see now. But but I have to say some of the things I liked about the book, and the movie didn't do it very well. But I liked not only the texting, but the letter writing. It was super cute. And I'm like,
so
I feel like
cute.
I learned stuff too. I learned things. Yeah. I'm like, oh, really? I didn't know.
I kind of knew the Alexander Hamilton, John Lawrence thing because of the Hamilton play where, they're making googly eyes at each other in the play.
I haven't seen the play. I have not seen Hamilton.
You can watch it on Disney, and that's the one where they're like making really strong googly eyes at each other, and you're like, oh, they're walking off stage to go, have some fun over there.
Okay.
But yeah, no, we didn't get as much with the emails and all of the quotes and all of the depth that they really had between them in the book.
Yeah, because they chose not to focus on that, it kind of seemed to me in the movie when it became the point where, oh my God, all your emails are out. I'm like, what emails? We didn't even hear about the emails. And then, of course, that part where, they are talking to each other and, Alex kind of says history, or whatever. It didn't even hit like it hit in the book because it had no supporting context. So it's like, why you throw that in there? You should just left it out.
They should have, but then there would have been nothing for the press to talk about.
I don't know. They could have made it because like the one scene in the movie where the reporter guy, which was not in the book, that character did not exist in the book.
He kind of did though. So
but not in this capacity.
No, June slept with him in the book, and then he just disappeared. But
right.
yeah, no, that kind of existed. I'm using air quotes for those of you who can't see me.
Yeah, because he could have easily had drawn his own conclusions when he saw Henry walk into the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked at them like, what are they up to? I'm like, see, he could have got some pictures. They could have made it something else completely and not the emails.
The reporter talking to him at the end kind of calls him out on that. She's like, okay, so the emails were released at like midnight, and then your report came out 2 hours later. How did you have time to read all of these emails and write your article and get it published in less than 2 hours? Like, you did this, didn't you? And he's like, what are you implying? I'm not going to answer anything.
I don't know. In the book, it was much more, it sounded more real. Like how the thing got out, how it got exposed. And even in the book, from what I recall, it's been a week at least since I read it. So in the book, we got to see what happened directly following that with Alex. And in the movie, we got to see what directly happened following that with Henry.
Yes.
So I kind of was like thrown to see the opposite situation, and it kind of came together when they got on the phone, though. But until that part where, there are two people who are engaged, apparently, made them, made the connection, on the down low for the phone. Before that, it was not the same scenes. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I didn't like how it played out because it made it seem like Alex went on and made his speech and did all these things. Where in the book, like, they got together immediately, said, yes, we're together. This is it. This is forever. And then they spoke to the public. And I feel like that kind of undermined it. Like, Grandpa King dude coming in and saying, we're just going to say it's all fake. I'm like, but Alex already talked to the press and said love is good. And like, that doesn't add up. You can't say it's fake.
No.
If he's already...
But he'd be calling the president's son a liar. And do you want to do that?
No, you don't want to do that.
No.
So yeah, that didn't really add up in the movie.
Yeah, they kind of mashed it together somehow and it didn't really make sense. So some of the other changes. So in the book, I liked how Alex's parents was divorced. I liked that they were divorced. They got along, but they were divorced. In the movie, they were still married, but they might as well have been divorced because you never saw those two actors together.
They were together for 30 seconds in one scene.
For a photo.
Like literally 3 seconds.
Right. So I'm like, they never had scenes together. They might as well have been divorced, but friendly. Like, why did you make them married still?
Just so there wouldn't be more tragic backstory or more to explain? I don't know. But they also cut out my favorite character. Yes. They cut out June.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
I was like, where's his sister? I'm like, what happened to the trio? Like, I needed the trio. Yeah. And June, we needed her. But, they just cut her out.
And that was really heartbreaking. Like, she was my favorite character in the entire book. And she's just gone. And they did Nora dirty. Like, I'm glad she was in the movie, but she was basically just a cardboard cutout. You don't really know about how smart she is, all of her schoolwork that she does. She's the one who literally like hacks everything and saves the day at the end.
Yeah, she broke the code. She figured out how they got it and what happened. And
yeah, no, Nora was so incredible in the book. Bea too. Henry's sister, Bea, she has her whole sordid past with cocaine and all these other troubles.
Oh my God.
In the movie, she's just like, I'm a pretty princess in a dress.
Yeah, she was so multifaceted in the book. Like, to hear Henry's story about how she came for him, even though her ass was like messed up, really. Like, I don't know. They had a great relationship, and they did in the movie too. But it was so bland.
It was so bland. They had like 2 conversations, and she's just giggling, and there's nothing to her.
No.
There was even a scene where, like, her face is covered with her hair, and I'm like, what are they doing? Did they need a stand-in today? Because you just see her hair.
Oh my god, and there was one scene, I think it was her at the New Year's Eve party where she's, like, taking someone's photo or something. I looked, I'm like, "Who is that?" They're like, literally, she's just in the camera with a camera. Did you
I
see
think
that? Like,
that was
she's
her,
sitting in a
yeah.
chair, and I'm like, she didn't have any speaking there, but she's
No.
just there. I don't know, it was kinda weird.
It was so weird.
But I have to admit, from the window
to the wall.
I'm like, oh, look at this. This was rated R. They did not bleep it out. They did not have the TV friendly version of that song playing. I'm like, I couldn't figure out why the hell the movie was rated R. And I'm
I
like, well,
still
maybe this
don't know.
song.
Like, even with language, I feel like it should only be PG-13.
Mm-hmm.
There was
Unless
not.
this makes it R. I don't know. It shouldn't.
It shouldn't, but
like,
it probably does because America's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
But I couldn't figure out any other reason. I'm like, why? Oh, okay, so this song, yes, it's kind of raunchy, and they played all the stuff, but outside
they're not
of that,
saying
I'm
the
like,
F word anywhere.
no.
We don't see much nudity. It's usually chest up. There were a couple butt scenes, maybe the butts, but they're running around trying to put clothes on. Like, it wasn't.
That one hotel. Sarah runs in there. Is that her name? Sarah?
Yeah.
Is that the she's like, honestly, that scene was kind of wacky because she was having like a whole breakdown. Like, how long has this been going on? Like, I'm like, girl. She felt so betrayed. Like,
she did. God. But honestly, like, that was the best scene.
I don't know. I don't know about that rating, but the book could have been rated R. It was kind of good.
Yeah, no, they got down and dirty all the time. They were dropping F-bombs every 2 seconds.
I don't know. I think, I guess because now, and this is the trick of it all. Had I not read the book, how would I feel about the movie?
It would probably be better, but I don't know if it would fully make sense because, like we just talked about with the emails. Like, that just makes it seem like, oh, everybody's homophobic because they came out as gay. Not, oh, they're these very detailed sexual emails where these two boys get.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think standing on its own, it's cute. But it doesn't have the depth of the book.
I would agree. The book had a lot, as it usually does. The book usually, it's very rare when the movie's better than the book.
Very rare.
It's something really long and complicated, and you know, it's not a little. But this was a 2-hour movie, though. They could have did some more.
They could have done more with it. Yeah, I'm kind of glad they did more with Texas in the movie. Because in the book, it was just kind of last minute, hooray, Texas went blue. Nobody actually did anything. He just stared at his binder for a year and thought about it.
Yeah. Well, actually, they did a lot more with the whole memo of his, plan for Texas in the movie. Like, in the book, I don't remember any said memo.
There was no memo. So he just, it was a binder full of papers and things that he kept it secret from everybody.
Yeah.
And then kind of at the end, he did a little bit like, oh, I zoomed in with some people and we talked about getting new voters, but it was very...
back to the story.
Yeah, back to the story. Just a couple sentences here and there.
I feel like in the book, though, his goal or his task was to save Texas because of the scandal, right? So he was supposed to make this grand speech that kind of swayed the hearts of the Texans in the polls at the last minute, and they won Texas. But in the movie, first I must say they showed the graph of the U.S. as they do on election night. I was hella pissed that Michigan was red. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
I think they said that was his home state. The The Republican runner.
Yes, it is. And I'm like, how dare you get the fuck out of here? On both accounts.
On all accounts, yes.
I'm like, red? But okay, anyway, I feel away. I'm like, oh my gosh. But Texas of all places managed to get it together. Okay, I guess.
That's wild. But yeah, sure. It's fiction. We can believe it.
And I mean, it's really fiction. And that's kind of what I liked about the book, is that coming off of the Obamas, we had a female. Now look, this could have been our reality had something else bad didn't happen.
Yes.
We would have had a first female president like they did in this book and the movie, which I was like, oh, but in the book, they made another change, and I think it because the queen has passed in real life.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, because in the book, it was
Queen.
The queen.
Yeah, Queen Mary.
Yes, it was not the king. And they changed it in the movie because obviously there's a king now. So
yeah. I was like, oh yeah, I guess that one's because she just died and they don't want to step on any toes, even though this is fiction.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they changed it, but I guess I understood why, and I kind of let it go pretty quickly. But I'm like, but I love that in the book. I'm like, oh, this is like a dream world.
Yes. Yes. There was a lot of shit in it, but it was a dream world. And in her acknowledgments there at the very end of the book, she says, I came up with this idea back in 2016 before I knew what 2016 was going to turn into. And I wanted to give people like a little glimmer of hope and seeing what else could have been in this world.
I mean, it is a glimmer of hope because I'd like to see this kind of reality really happen. I don't know if it could, but that's why it's fiction.
I don't think it could. They threw everything at it. I still to this day laugh about the tan suit scandal because President Obama wore a tan suit and Fox News lost their goddamn mind. They're like, how dare he wear something this shade of color?
Oh my God.
We are in the worst timeline. And then everything got worse after that.
Can we switch with the book? I would love.
Please, let's switch. I want to live in that world.
Oh my God, right? So I think the political stuff increased my liking of this book. Like if it was set any other kind of way, I'm not sure it would have hit the same because you know me, I can't just take a plain old contemporary romance. It has to have something different, something unique for me to be like, okay, yeah. So I guess the politics in this was enough to do it.
That's good because I kept getting stomach cramps and going, oh my God, our world is so fucked. I remember how bad it was in 2016. I remember how bad it was in 2020. We have another election coming up soon.
Oh God, I don't want to think about it. I'm going to live in my happy place for as long as I can before the bubble bursts.
It's going to burst so bad. Oh God. Okay. Yeah. No, anyway. Usually I don't read political stuff, but like you said, in this setting, it worked. And
it wasn't too dry.
I love the facts that Alex had a fire under his ass and he kept working so hard and he wanted to save people. And there was these other senators that he looked up to and they were working to, help the little people. And they always talked about, the kids who can't afford lunch, let's save them, or getting the transgender bathrooms out there and, solidified so people are safe to go to the bathroom, which should be a human right, but isn't in this world.
Yeah, it's not yet. It will be. It can be. I also liked in the book that there was that other congressman, or was he a senator?
They're senators.
Senator?
Yeah.
Okay. In the book, he was a gay senator that his father and him helped get elected.
Yeah, he was amazing. I knew it was going to be him who was the independent who went with the Republican because he was being so tight-lipped about it. And they're like, oh, well, it's going to be this other independent guy who's not talking. And he's like, mm-hmm. And then Alex was like, I'm so betrayed because it was you. And I was like, Alex, honey, you're 22. Oh, honey.
He's like, I want to know why. Just tell me why. He's like, oh, God. He's like, not going to just give you a clear reason.
No. Just because you go around telling everybody all your business doesn't mean they're going to tell you. But yeah, no. I actually have a question for you.
Okay.
Out of all the people they cut out of the movie, like all the characters they cut, who was your favorite besides June? And I can list off all of the characters. So we had the Queen, obviously. We had the Senator, Raphael Luna. There was Leo, the stepdad, Liam, the ex-boyfriend, and Catherine, Henry's mom.
Well, maybe Henry. Well, no, okay. I didn't have a favorite of any of those secondary characters, to be honest.
Okay.
But I think other than June, like you said,
obviously, like we both loved and missed June, but
yeah. So I think that I'm torn because I feel like one of the most important characters to the story was the senator, but also Henry's mom. That was really important. And the fact that they just had her off the screen completely.
Like they didn't say if she was dead or alive. She was just never mentioned. Henry didn't have to have his crisis with, oh, my mom is here but depressed and living in a room. She didn't come fight for him at the end. I liked that.
The only thing they mentioned, like when him and his sister were in the, I don't know, the park or wherever the hell they were on the palace grounds, you know, she mentions like not standing near the top of the stairs because the brother might push her. Like, oh my God. But I think that was important because the mom in the book, she did rally. And you could tell she's ready to push her own mother out the seat.
Yes.
You know, she's like ready to make some changes. I feel like that would have been important for Henry's character. That's very volatile. So the senator for the story would have helped clear up the whole email debacle. So he was important to the plot, and the mother for Henry's character.
Yes, I agree. I agree 100% because I was really sad. I kept hoping she would appear at the end, and then she didn't. And I was like, you didn't even mention her. She could have been in the room at the very least and been like, Dad, stop being mean to my kids or something.
Something. Like, my gosh, she's like, well, and he did kind of act similarly to how the Queen did in the book. So that was kind of similar.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
but another big thing that was missing, and I was sad. I'm like, you missed the drama of it. The drama of Alex running to the palace and demanding to and you know, instead he just comes in the room. I'm like, oh my God,
I wanted that drama. And that's the other person who got cut was Cash, his other security guard. Who I also miss, but I guess you can only have one security guard because I don't know. But yeah, no, the drama, him screaming out in the rain to open the door, and Sean being like, no, fuck you. Who do you think you are?
Right. And then, you know, he lets him in. Like, oh my gosh.
That was good drama. They should have kept it that way.
That could have been so cute. You'd be like, oh,
standing out in the rain, screaming for him. Yes.
I mean, who misses the opportunity for a rain scene? Rain scenes are always romantic. Right? Like, why would you not do it?
Right? They should have done it that way. They really should have done it that way.
Yeah. That could have been pure gold.
At least he was like soaking wet and had squeaky shoes to be like, yes, there was rain. But it's not good enough.
He made a mention of the tussle or, you know, the hardship he had to get inside the castle to come see him. But we missed it. It was so much better in the book. So that whole lead up.
Yes.
Yeah. I So, I mean, honestly, the movie missed a lot.
It did.
Yeah.
It was very cute, but it just didn't hit as hard as the book did.
No, it didn't. Okay, so let's take a quick break. You guys check out these commercials. While you do that, head on over to Amazon and pick up a copy of the book review journal, available right now. And we'll be right back. Stay with us. Today's episode is brought to you by the Shelf Addiction merch store. Check out all the bookish t-shirts, notebooks, mugs, and more. Don't miss out on these original designs, perfect for any book nerd. Support the podcast and visit shelfaddiction.com/merch and pick up your next favorite bookish item. Okay, welcome back, guys. What else should we talk about? I know there's probably a couple more things we could hit on before.
I mean, it wasn't as good as the book. And I'm always going to keep saying that. Like, it was good. I'm happy. I'm going to go love review bomb it everywhere because it keeps getting crappy reviews. And I'm convinced they're all homophobes writing those bad reviews.
No. Oh my gosh. Well, I don't know. Everywhere I look, it seems like the reviews are good still.
Well, apparently Google thinks that I'm a homophobe because I keep getting the Google News alerts and it'll be like, red, white, and blue royally trashed. And I'm like, no, it didn't.
Now, the thing is, though, I think a lot of people didn't like the movie per se. And I don't know if those people had any experience with the book. You know, that's the thing.
But I think it's kind of like what happened with the Barbie movie when all these men were like, what is this trash? It's not about men, it's trash. And all the women are like, yeah, you're missing the point.
Yeah. Well, okay, so I did listen on audio, and Ramon D. Acampo was very good. He has a great voice.
Oh, excellent.
And you could hear the difference between the two. You know, there were some accents a little bit for the British, and it was like not overly like ridiculous where you're like, what is this?
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Did Alex have a Texas or Texan accent in the book?
Not really. Not strongly. Because he didn't in the movie either, but his mom did. His mom... Okay, so Uma Thurman rocked this accent so hard in the movie. I'm like, why does it sound like that? Is that how Texans sound?
My friend Catherine was texting me while she was watching it. She's like, what the fuck is this accent? This is not a Texan accent. What is this? Because she grew up in Texas. And she's like, what is happening right now?
No, it was so over the top. And I'm like, but yet Alex doesn't have a hint of a Texan accent.
He didn't. And that's what we were talking about. Because like he sounds... not Texan.
He sounds, Midwest. He sounds regular.
Yeah. But Uma Thurman just went hard on that accent. So I was just wondering if he had any sort of accent in the book.
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember him having an accent in the book. I remember the British accent. I remember... No, I don't think so. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember an accent in that way.
Because he says y'all a couple times, but it didn't feel...
It didn't have that
like
twang.
I never pictured him with a twang.
No.
So, I don't know, but... I mean, usually the author will tell the narrator who has what kind of accent, or if they should or shouldn't sound a certain way. So I'm thinking... maybe he just doesn't, but his mother wants
Let me put everybody on. I'm going to listen, but I'm going to mute because I want to get in trouble for playing. I'm going to play a little bit right now.
Okay.
Actually, you guys on Patreon can hear it if you hear it. Henry has an accent.
A little bit of a British accent, yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah, no, it's not in your face.
This is Alex. No accent. See? Yeah. No accent. I'm like, I don't remember an accent. So
yeah, no, we were talking about Uma Thurman and how different she sounded from literally everybody else in the movie.
She did. It was like jarring.
It was very jarring.
And almost, she was enunciating some of these words so hard I could hear her teeth clicking. Could you hear it? And what I think of when I hear that is an old person who has like dentures or something that click. Because you hear that mouth sound.
Yes.
And I could hear it from her in the movie. I'm like, am I hearing that?
Yeah, no.
Someone needs to tell her to ease up on the accent.
Yeah, because that was painful to listen to. But yeah.
I don't know.
I wish she'd still been divorced. I wish she had married Leo. I wish June was there. June was such an integral part to the story. Like, damn. We needed June.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we do need that. I mean, even though when Alex kind of came out to her officially, because in the movie, his mother didn't think he was bi. Like, he kind of knew. Like, he didn't have, like you said, that existential kind of crisis in himself in the movie. But his mom didn't know. He still had to tell her.
Which is a really cute scene. And the bee is not silent. And she's like, I can make you the PowerPoint, which the PowerPoint in the story was so cute. And in the story, she went and got the pamphlets from Planned Parenthood.
I know. Oh my God. And she's all like getting into the nuts and bolts. Like, we didn't have this type of conversation when we had the sex talk, but that's just my ignorance. I didn't expect to have this side of it. But hey, here it is. She's like, Mom, no, stop.
Which was so cute. It was so cute. And that's such a wonderful thing to see in a movie, because like 90%, I don't know statistics, but like most of the gay movies you see, parents are like, oh my God, I have to disown you. How could you do this to me? I hate you. We rarely ever see that parent going, oh, I love you. Oh, the sex talk. I need to give you the different sex talk now. And that was just such a healing moment.
Yeah, I think actually this movie is great for parents. If you need some help. I mean,
if your kid comes out and you don't know what to say, watch this scene. Watch this moment.
Yes.
Watch this mother.
This is how you react.
Yes.
Exactly. And she even asked, she's like, so she's trying to figure out, well, what all is it? What's going on?
Yes.
He just says, bisexual. Okay, great. It's like, oh my God. It was great. I mean, some of these scenes were really good despite her horrible accent. Oh my God. I don't know about her.
I don't feel like she did as much work. I know like they were cutting down on everything, but she felt almost placeholder-ish as the president. Like, we didn't really get to see what she was doing. Whereas in the book, we got a little bit more of, these are her policies. This is what she's working on. We're going to move into campaign mode eventually, but let's talk about this other stuff.
Yeah. I think, now see, this is the thing. I guess you can look at, depending on how much you value or weigh the realness of the political stuff.
Yeah.
Is how that was handled in the book versus how it was handled in the movie. And how the characters approached it is different. So, did you like the book political stuff better or the movie political stuff better?
I think I like the book stuff better just because there was more to it. Like, we had the trio and the mother was like, okay, I'm going to use all three of you in your various ways because you're all very good and can support me in these different ways. And like, there was none of that in the movie.
But it looked like Nora was already doing that. It looks like she was doing like, not maybe presidential campaign stuff, but she was doing other campaign stuff.
Yeah. No, again, Nora was around, but they just didn't give her much time on the screen. She's just kind of there and then gone and then there in the background again and smiling and happy. And
oh, so the guy who is Prince Henry's friend.
Oh God.
So
Pez or Prez? Pez.
Yeah. Okay, now either I missed it or they just made a artistic decision. Was he black in the book?
He had dark skin but white hair in the book. And so I was kind of picturing, more tan, but black with white hair works too.
And Nora was not black, was she?
Don't think she was. Like, her parents were hippies who went and moved to Vermont. And I was like, that's usually a white person thing.
Okay, because that's what I thought. And I mean, I don't mind that they changed it in the movie. I didn't mind it at all. But I was like, did I miss something or did they just change it? So I was starting to question myself.
They just said he had dark skin and white hair. But his one security guard, Amy, who is in the movie, she's supposed to be trans, married to a woman who's pansexual. They just, didn't even mention any of that. But at least she was there as a security guard instead of Cash, I guess. Yeah, the book had a lot more.
Was she trans in the movie, though? I mean, they didn't say
anything.
She?
I don't know. I need to look up that actress and see. I don't think so.
I don't know. Let me see.
Yeah.
Because I think I had heard someone say something about it, but it was kind of, I was half listening. So I don't really know. Let me see. See if I can find her right quick. Oh, there she is. Let me pull her up. Oh, not that lady. That one lady, who was the Zara, she was, by the way, in this Netflix show. Did you watch the Netflix show called I'll come up with it in a minute.
No, but I have seen her in Supernatural. She is in the very first episode of Supernatural, The Woman in White, way back when it came out in 2005. So that's a huge throwback.
Okay, so Anish Seth is singer, actress, producer, director, and transgender activist. Let's see. So it doesn't really give me. That doesn't really mean that she's transgender. That doesn't mean that. I don't know. So the other woman, Sarah Shahi, it was called Sex Life. Oh my God. If you ever watch it, okay.
No, I haven't.
This shit is rated R. This shit is rated R. So she has this guy that she was with a long time ago. It didn't work out. She gets married. She has a couple kids. She comes across this guy again and they start having a fucking affair. And it goes crazy. Like the sex scenes are like, fuck, you're showing this on TV. So, I mean, when I saw her, I was like, oh my God, it's that girl from that show, because it was just so jarring. And I watched all of it. It was high drama, drama. But so I thought that was interesting. And after, so I've seen some articles where I guess people are wondering if Nicholas Galtenstein, Lord Galtenstein, okay, or if Taylor Zakar Perez, if either of them are gay for real.
I mean, sometimes when Alex was looking at Henry and like we saw his eyes, I was like, God damn, that man is in love right now.
It seemed like it.
I don't seem like it. Those eyes do not lie.
Or something. But when I looked up Nicholas Galtenstein, he actually has dark hair.
Oh,
and all these pictures of him, he has dark hair.
I need to see
that.
So
he looks a little different. Yeah, I can't believe they dyed his hair.
It needed
legit
to be for the movie because he was so.
No.
Oh my God, he looks so much better with dark hair.
Because I'm like, that blonde hair was wackadoocious on him.
No.
But I know they tried to make him look like how the character looked, right? So I get it. All right, so I think that's it. Do you have anything else?
No. It was really cute. We'll save we'll save the dirty talk for our after show.
Yes, we're gonna save it because I got some. I have some things to talk about. So let's rate the book and rate the movie 1 to 5, no halves. How about you begin?
All right. The book, I'm giving it 5 stars. It just hit home for me as a queer coming of age book, and I adore it. The movie, I'll give it 4 stars. It was cute. It was not nearly as good as the book, but it was good. It made me there's scenes that made me happy. So 4 stars.
Okay, wonderful. I'm going to deviate. Mm-hmm. So the book, 3 out of 5. I liked it. It was cute. In the end, I liked it. It took a minute for me to get going, and some of the political stuff seemed to drag a little. Sometimes it would flip into these scenes of my career. I need to do this. I want to do that. It was so blah. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't figure out how much we actually needed with over 400 pages. So 3 out of 5. And when I was done, I was like, oh, that was cute. Mm-hmm. The movie, 3 out of 5. I watched it. I'm like, oh, that was cute. Will I watch it again in 6 months or a year? No, I probably will not watch it again. And to me, that's a good indication. If that's something that, will I try to watch it again? Did I want to recommend it? I do want to recommend it to some people, but I won't. It's like a one and done for me. Mm-hmm. So I had a good time while I was on the ride. But once I get off the ride and start reading and watching other things, I think it's going to fade a little bit. But we'll see. Only time will tell.
That's fair. And yeah. 3 stars are still good.
Yeah, for me, a 3 star is good. Mm-hmm. Y'all know I rate hard.
Oh, yeah.
You know I do. And like I said, this isn't my happy space of reading. Contemporary romance isn't usually what I go for. So I think it's a little even harder for me because it's not my happy space. So I am a little jaded, I think, when it comes to the rating. But if you really like contemporary romance, you probably would rate it closer to what Casey rated.
Yes, absolutely, so, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think we're going to end things there. It was fun.
It was fun.
Yes. And if you want the not safe for work conversation, head on over to Patreon because, woo, okay.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. And we'll see you over there. We'll call it. We'll see you next time. And until then, happy reading. Take care of yourself.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, If you enjoyed today's episode and would like to show your support, there are a few things you can do. Head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a positive 5-star review, or like this episode on your favorite podcast player. It seems so simple, but it really helps me out. You can share this podcast with other book nerd friends or on your favorite social media space. You can also join the Shelf Addiction Patreon family. For as little as $2 a month, you will help us produce even more awesome content for your ears. You can also consider joining the Shelf Addiction official Facebook group, where we talk all things bookish and more in a safe space. The Shelf Addiction podcast is a part of the Nerdy Maven network. You can also reach us via email at info@shelfaddiction.com. Thank you for listening.